Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks, Angel. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining. My name is Marissa Mack. I'm the chair of the Development and Culture Committee. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. We do have a full agenda, so I'd like to get started with some ground rules. So first, no one may speak until granted the floor. CB11 members, if you have a question about board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom. If you click the participants icon, the participants panel should appear, and you should find the raise hand function there. If you still have technical difficulty, you may click the chat icon and relay your difficulty to the staff. The chat function should not be used for CB11 business or questions about agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through Zoom. Chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the recording during the meeting. Please keep your questions and comments succinct and germane to the discussion. Members of the public, if you have a question or comment about the subjects on the agenda, please raise your hand through Zoom and wait to be recognized. Okay, so I am now calling this meeting to order at 6:33 p.m. Angel, can you please do the roll call?
Certainly. Committee members, when I call your name, please answer present. Adem Briha.
Present.
Eva Chan. James Horton.
Present.
Marissa Mack.
Present.
Giselle Malave.
Present.
Jennifer Meyer.
Present.
Robert Perez is excused. Dawn Sanders. Vinnie Torres. Jenny Tromsky. Nye Whitaker.
Present.
So you have quorum.
Great, thank you, Angel. So now I am going to move to adopt the agenda. If there are any objections, please raise your hand. If not, we will move forward with the meeting. Okay, seeing no objections, moving to the adoption of the meeting minutes. Not sure if you all were able to review the minutes. Angel, are we able to possibly do this another way, since we weren't able to I wasn't able to look at the minutes. I'm not sure if anyone else was able to.
You could just table it till next month. Do
Okay.
them together with them.
Okay, perfect. Great. So we will table the minutes until next month to allow everyone time to review them. So yes, let's move forward with the agenda. I do just want to make a note, actually, before we move on, and just, I know, Angel, before you make your announcement, I just want to just take a minute to reflect on some things that have happened throughout the community in the past couple of weeks that have really moved me personally, have moved a number of people within our community, and speaking specifically about the shooting that happened at Burger King, as well as the officer who was shot at in his car, and just like a number of things that are going on, not only throughout this community, I think just throughout the city. I heard about it, like 3 carjackings that took place in Midtown, but just the fact that there's a lot going on right now. And I think that it's important for us just to just take a minute to realize like what's going on throughout the city. I think it's an impact on like a number of different things, absolutely. And the individual that died within this community that was attacked several months ago and just passed away, the Asian man he was in the hospital for a while, and that was something as well that had been lingering throughout this community. But I just wanted people to just think about, this is there's a lot. It's a lot going on, and so I think we just need to be, aware of how this is impacting our neighborhood and the city overall. So, Angel, yes, please, if you can move forward with the announcements, that would be great.
Sure thing. So quickly, the next meeting of this committee is scheduled, oops, that's wrong. This is, it's scheduled for a couple of days before. I'll correct that and I'll let you guys know what the right date for that is. On January 4th, Mayor Adams signed the Small Business Forward Executive Order to reform existing business regulations, ensuring local businesses face fewer needless fines and penalties. The executive order builds upon local law 80 and calls on DOB, DEP, sanitation, FDNY, DCWP, and the health department to review business regulations with the goal of reducing fine schedules and allowing for cure periods or warnings for first-time violations. On February 3rd, the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection will hold a public hearing on a proposed new rule related to the Fair Workweek law for fast food workers. The proposed rule and information on how to register to attend this hearing, which will be held virtually, is available on the community events page on the community board website. And if you give me a second, I'll tell you when the next meeting is. The next meeting of this committee is February 10th, not January 10th. That's all.
Thank you, Angel. Thanks for the update. Are there any questions in regards to this information? Okay, if not, moving on. So just wanted to make a couple of announcements on a brighter note. I have been in talks with a couple of individuals in terms of developments that are coming up within this community and their willingness to not only just check off a box in terms of workforce development and collaborating with our culture community, but obviously also affordable housing. And so there's been a lot of conversation in regards to including our arts community and paying them for work that they do and incorporating that into some of the structures that we have coming up. So just wanted to let the committee know that we have been, and we being myself, Giselle, and Angel have been in talks with some of the up and coming developments that will be in this area, and they are very open and willing to work with us specifically on those 3 pillars. So just wanted to give some good news in terms of the work that we're doing in terms of us pushing for the things that we want, right, for affordable housing, for jobs, and then also to include our arts community within these structures. That work is being done, and we should be able to see that in the next coming months and years. So just wanted to share that information with you guys. In addition to that, I also wanted to put a plug in for any of the members that are on here that are within the community for the 25th precinct. Their meeting will be next Wednesday. And so if there are small businesses or people that are within the community that just want to learn a little bit more about what's going on as it relates to safety, as it relates to also businesses being safe within this community, that meeting will take place and it will be over Zoom. So just wanted to put a plug out for that as well. And in terms of my announcements, that's really all that I have right now. I know that I'm glad that Carrie is here. And also I see Jackie, not sure if Pablo is here as well. And then Nye, I do see your hand, so I will recognize you. Go ahead. And please be careful if you're driving.
Thank God someone else is driving, but I want to be respectful. Madam Chair, I just wanted, if you don't mind, to take a moment to please remind everyone who lives in the 68th Assembly District, we are in the middle of a special election. I'm asking everyone to please come out and vote. The special election started last Saturday with early voting, which ends this Sunday. And then the final date of vote is January 18th. I know it's the first of the year. There's also a holiday in the middle, but I just want our community, if we care about economic development, tourism, who represents us matters. And so I'd like to just remind all of our colleagues and the general public to please come out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nye. Thank you for that reminder. Before I pass it over to Carrie, is there anyone else who has any just quick updates or information to share? Okay, if not, I am passing it over to Carrie King, welcoming you back. Happy New Year from Uptown Grand Central. So please, Carrie, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And I'm so glad to be back. The past couple of meetings have fallen on Wednesdays, which is when we run our farmers market outside the Metro North Station. So I haven't been able to come for the past couple months, but I'm glad to be back. And so I've been trying to think, oh my gosh, what has happened since earlier in the fall? And that's a lot. On 125th Street, we were able to receive some of the cleanup core from the mayor's city cleanup core initiative. And so we now have between 30 and 40 people, depending on the shift, cleaning 125th Street, which is an incredible amount of people, considering we used to have between 5 and 10 on before the cleanup core was here. So it's a 6-month initiative. They'll be here till the end of February. And we hope you can see the difference. They were out for about a week and a half in the end of December, started January, because they all caught COVID, which was really bad, and the street looked terrible. But it really has been looking a lot better. And so it's a wonderful thing. Also finally answers the age-old question of like, how many people will it take to clean 125th Street? You know, it's about 50. So, you know, if that's good or that's bad, I don't know. But we're really glad to have them, and would love it if the new mayor decided to extend the program. So we'll just put that out there in the ether. Also, you may have noticed the holiday lights have been up. Our winter lights have been up since the start of November. We have more lights than ever before, and we keep them up until the end of February, which is a lot longer than other places. But also on 125th Street, they actually add a layer of safety and security, because we wrap the base of the tree, and that actually brings light down to the sidewalk level. And we also need more safety along 125th Street. So that's part of the goal. We can only keep them up till the end of February, because then the Parks Department makes us take them down so that the leaves on the trees can bud for the spring. So that's the background on that. In terms of small business activities, the open streets wrapped up at the end of October. We did an East Harlem tasting tour in partnership with Harlem Restaurant Week at the start of November. And then we've been doing bike rides to the small businesses, hot chocolate bike rides. A few of them got canceled because of snow, but we're postponing them. And instead of doing hot chocolate for Christmas, we're doing Valentine's. So we're gonna see how the weather holds up in February. And then also in December, we sponsored alongside TBO Harlem and thanks to support with Union Settlement, the Harlem Night Market at La Marqueta, which was great. And we had 75 vendors. We were able to expand from not just one building, but to 3 lots. So all the way from the retail market to La Placita to Urban Garden Center, which was triple the amount of space 2 years before. So that was great. And we hope to be able to build on that in the future. And I'm not going to take up too much more time, but I just wanted to flag that the eviction moratorium expires on this Saturday, which we're really not sure how that's going to affect a lot of our business owners. But I've heard of businesses that are starting to get letters and things, landlords anticipating this shift in the courts. So, you know, we're gonna keep working on it. But it's something to be on the lookout for. A lot of the grant sources have dried up, or there's a lot of businesses that are just in a certain pocket where they don't qualify for some of the grants that are available. So East Harlem has done really, really well, considering when it comes to small businesses in the pandemic so far. But I am personally worried that we're going to enter this prolonged period where a lot of the resources and the hospitality of the general public kind of dry up. And there's not as many resources available. So we'll continue to work on that and push forward. And my screen is bouncing because I have a 4-year-old bouncing on the bed with me. So I'm going to cut off my, I'm going to quit talking, Marissa. I'm going to pass.
Bring him on. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you so much. Thank you for presenting. And I just actually wanted to ask you a couple of things just in regards to I guess the legal side of it. Do we have any support for some of our small businesses in terms of, you know, if the moratorium ends, you know, how they'll be able to handle it, who's kind of advocating on the legal side resources?
Yeah, there's a lot of pro bono resources that are available. So, you know, and Jackie from Union Settlement also works with Legal Aid Society. We send businesses there, and they do a lot of pro bono in advance of issues, so they can help people with hardship declarations and things like that. But once it gets into a stage of, oh my gosh, Jackie might need to take over. Once it gets into a stage of where people actually need a lawyer to defend themselves, the pro bono resources are no longer available. So that's kind of the issue.
Okay, no problem.
I'm gonna mute.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for presenting. I see Nye. Are there any other quick questions? Nye, I see your hand. Go ahead.
It was just a quick question as to whether or not we have restaurants participating in Restaurant Week. The Winter Restaurant Week starts on the 13th and goes through February. And I wasn't quite sure if Uptown Grand or any of our other partners were participating in that, so that we can promote it. I know Uptown Grand has an amazing restaurant guide promoting our community. And so just wanted to check to see if any of our restaurants are participating so we could get the word out.
Nye, that's an excellent question. And yes, we do. We have, they're still getting a lot of their menus uploaded. But we do have, I would say, between 5 and 10 restaurants participating. It's interesting, New York City Restaurant Week has typically been a pay to play thing. And so during the pandemic, it was expanded to be citywide. Any restaurant could participate for free. And then this season, they attached the prices again, and they sent me the price list, and it was $375 or $750 to participate. So we send them a nice little note back, and we're like, well, then East Harlem is pretty much effectively out. And then thanks to support from the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, they were able to make it free again. So we do have businesses participating, and we'll be putting that on our social media so that everybody can go.
Perfect. Thank you,
Thank
Carrie.
you, Carrie. Madam Chair, maybe that's something that we should look at on an annual basis, is how we can influence to make sure the price is affordable for our local small businesses to participate in these activities, and so that, you know, the cost is not a burden. Thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you, Nye. That's a great idea. Thank you so much. Any other questions before we move to Union Settlement? Okay, so Jackie, thank you for being here. Do you have any information that you'd like to share on upcoming events and the work that you guys are doing?
Sure. I don't think Pablo is back yet, so that's why he's not on. I have very brief updates because as far as our program is concerned, I'm the project manager for Buy Local East Harlem, and Pablo is a project manager for East Harlem, working together. So we have sort of two different missions. But my programming right now is going to be contingent on COVID. I'm trying to organize a few more pop-ups between now and June, except they cannot be inside because of COVID. So right now I'm on hold. I'm hoping that we could have at least one in March, one in April, and one in May. And then in June, we'll probably organize another East Harlem Nights, which would be larger with more vendor space available. That's normally held in the Union Settlement Garden. So that's what I'm planning on now. And, you know, that's really it. It's really hard. You know, COVID is really putting a damper right now on all programming. And the only other thing I want to add is just keep in mind that the third-party delivery app, the new regulations go into effect on January 24th. So now they're capped at 15% of their delivery. But, you know, we're still trying to encourage people to order directly from restaurants so they don't have to pay a fee, period. And that's it. And Marissa, I'm still not sure what's going on with the loan program in Union Settlement. I don't think we've gotten that far yet.
Okay, please, yes, thank you so much, Jackie. Please keep us in mind, because I think one of the things that was really good that Pablo had mentioned is that, you know, he's also looking to reach segments that won't necessarily is touched or benefit, were able to benefit from previous monies that were out there because of their situation. So as soon as you guys start kind of forming and outlining what that looks like, please let us know. We would love to be a part of that conversation. And I'm sure other small businesses that did not get funds would love to tap into that as well. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jackie. Are there any questions for Jackie? Okay, great. So moving along, I believe, is it Becca who's presenting from MASD Hospitality Group?
Beatrice.
Beatrice. Okay, hi, how are you? Okay,
Hi,
great.
how are you?
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. So please, if you could just give us a little information about the Harlem Night Market, what people kind of need to qualify for participating, how this came about, that would be great.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you for having me here. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Marisa. And my name is Beatrice Torres. I'm the Director of Communication for Mask Hospitality Group, producers of Uptown Night Market. That's kind of like not the right name over there. We're Uptown Night Market. And I would like to show you what is really Uptown Night Market if I can present a small 1-minute video.
Yes, Angel is setting that up.
All right, I hope you can hear it.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else, I can't see, I can hear it, but I don't see it. Are you sharing a video?
Yes, you can see it.
I can see it.
Can you
I see it.
Everyone
Yeah.
sees it? Oh, okay, so maybe it's just me. Okay.
So you guys can see it and hear it?
Yeah, I can see it and hear it.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you so much.
On my screen. Okay, go ahead.
There you go. So that's who we are. We are Uptown Night Market. We are a celebration of cuisine, community, and culture. This takes place in West Harlem. But that was our first season last year, and it was such a success. In every event, we brought up to 5,000 to 7,000 people each Thursday. And it was fantastic. The community was vibrant. It was amazing. Truly see post-pandemic and all these business and micro and small businesses making an important amount of money for them in these times, right? So we have decided to start the promotion of the event sooner in terms of getting applications sooner to give the opportunity to more small businesses and micro businesses in East Harlem, Central Harlem, in all the city actually, that really wants to participate in this event, plus also performers, local performers, local businesses. Last season, we had up to 40% of these businesses were local from Harlem. We want to increase, our battle is to increase that number higher and increase the number of representation within those businesses. This means we want more business that are led by women entrepreneurs, Black-owned businesses, and Latinas businesses that they're really growing in the industry right now. And really what we wanted is to just share with you our links and application and deadlines so you can spread the word out and we can give more local businesses the opportunity to participate in such a great event. So I'm gonna drop here in the chat our website.
And Beatrice, while you're doing that, just to, I just wanted to just ask a couple of questions here, just so, people are interested in participating. So is there, I guess that overall, is there a fee to participate as a vendor?
Yes.
What is that? Is it a scale, or is it a flat fee for everyone, or how does that?
There is application process that the admin team takes care of, and it has to first. Some of the businesses, since they are very small, they don't know or they don't have the right permitting. So our team helped them to get through that process, to get the right permitting, and to just educate them what they should be, the steps that need to be followed to become a vendor, a street vendor, and a food vendor as well. And then we need to work with them, and we also accessorize them in terms of creating a social media profile that is going to be engaging and is going to try to maximize all the output, because part of what we do is marketing and design and social media and promotion. So we try to maximize everything for these small businesses to grow and give them the opportunity to grow in the industry. So the application process goes along, and there is like fees to cover the process of the event, which are going mostly to insurance. And yeah, we have the team. You can apply on the website, and it's very easy, and everybody can apply, and the team will educate them and walk them easily through the process. Our first event opening night is April 14th. So the sooner the better. And also, I wanted to mention, just using this amazing opportunity to talk to you guys, that we are preparing the first of its kind Harlem Beer Festival obviously in Harlem. And Marco, the founder, he wants to really do it in this in Community 11, since he lives there. He feels very attached to the area, and he really wants to bring that opportunity to the neighborhood. And we just don't know what we should do, because we really want to, I don't know how we're gonna do it. We want to present it to the full board. Is that possible? Is it something that is thinkable? Because we want to know any recommendation for areas where we can present that this project.
So I think one place to start, and glad that you're on this call and actually heard from Carrie and Jackie, who are very connected with our small businesses here in the community. So one place to start, I feel, would be to, see if you can have a conversation with them in regards to what they've been doing here. We also have a night market here with La Marqueta. We have open streets that have engaged some of our small businesses within the community. Some of our pop-up shops. So there's a lot that's going on here that, again, speaking to them, you guys may want to have a deeper conversation about how that can happen, and kind of, curate that from those conversations. So I would lead you to them in terms of a further discussion about that. But that sounds great. Do you know how many businesses specifically, and I don't know if you've broken it down, but do you know how many businesses came from, the east side versus the west side when you had the event previously, or last year?
It was all, I think I don't have the right amount in numbers, but I do have the percentage. It was 40% of the vendors, including food and merch. And in terms of numbers, I wouldn't be able to say, because it varies from event to event. It's a monthly event. So I wouldn't be able to answer that question. But thank you for the recommendation, Carrie. Nice seeing you in the face for the first time. We have been talking. Yes, it's amazing. And we tried to work it out together throughout the holiday market, but we were like in another previous commitment with the botanical gardens. Okay. So we couldn't really work together. So thank you so much.
Okay, great. And I think we have information we have also shared in terms of people wanting to, if they want to apply, what to do. So I've seen that it has been circulated around. So I just want to thank you for sharing about this. Obviously, we will be able to get the word out for people to apply. The deadline to apply is
Until April 1st.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I do see some raised hands, and I'm gonna go to Jackie.
Thank you, Marissa. Okay, Beatrice, just a quick question. What kind of permits do the vendors need? This is for the Uptown Market. Do you mean just food handler permits, or are there?
So, as far, again, I'm not the right person to answer this question. I'm sorry, apologies for that. But yeah, they need street vendor permit, food handling, and other regulations with the DOT. I think I can assure. I couldn't really answer this question, and I don't want to make a mistake while saying that.
Beatrice,
But-
could you please send that over to us so that we know if people are applying, they kind of know, look, I have this or I don't, and then that way they know if they can go forward or not. Would that be something you could send?
Definitely. Should I send it to the main email for the board or the one?
You can send it to Angel. You can send it. I'll drop an email in here that you can send it to.
Perfect.
Are there any questions?
That's it for me. Thank you, Beatrice.
And thank you, Jackie. Nye?
I just want to make sure that everybody here does their due diligence about partnerships. We have lots of conversations about partnering with different organizations. I remember the conversation about the golf organization that was looking to partner with us. I know there's no ask on the table now, but I know that there was a lot of controversy in the Bronx about this organization and its partnerships. And so I just want to make sure that, God bless them in the work that they do. But before people partner, please be sure to read up on the organization, its partnerships, and how it comes into communities.
Thank you, Nye, for sharing that information. Are there any other questions before we move on? Okay, seeing none, thank you so much for presenting, Beatrice, and we will look for the additional information for you in regards to our different license needed to go forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now moving over to the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, Natalie and Harry, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming this evening.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So the floor is yours.
Okay, am I allowed to share a screen? I'm going to. Oh, am I allowed to share my screen?
Yes, you should have the ability to do so. Angel, is that?
You can share, Natalie.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, I see it. Sorry, I thought it didn't pop up at first. Okay. Let me. Sorry, it's like going really slow. I said basic advanced. It's weird. It's not popping up when I click share my screen. I can maybe see.
Do you see share screen on the bottom?
Yeah, and I click it and then it says basic or advanced, and under basic, there's nothing. So, and the share button doesn't pop up.
Okay. Are you able? I don't know.
I wonder if I should come out and come back in, or I could also just verbally present or see if Harry
Could
can
you-
share his screen.
Could you possibly, Angel, if she sent it to you, could you possibly share it?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Let me get that. Also, if there's someone else on the agenda, I can have them go while I send it to Angel. I'm sending it. Okay, I just emailed it to Angel. But I guess I could start until it pops up. I don't want to keep everyone waiting. I also wanted to say that Mo is here as well. I'm Natalie. I'm with the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce. I'm the Director of Business Recovery, and Harry and Mo are specialists on my team. I'm going to have them introduce themselves once we have the PowerPoint up and running, but we were just here to let you guys know about free resources for small businesses through the Small Business Resource Network. I presented at one of your meetings, I think a year ago. So thank you for having me both times.
Thank you.
And yay, okay, good. Sorry, Angel, I'm gonna have to tell you when to click next, but you can go to slide 2 when you get the chance.
Thank you, Angel.
No problem.
Perfect. Okay, so the New York City Small Business Resource Network is a comprehensive approach to strengthening New York City's economy and accelerating the recovery of small businesses. We are a unique private-public partnership that provides local businesses with completely free personalized guidance they need right now to survive the pandemic. We have special relationships with corporate, financial, and professional service sectors with unique support from universities, philanthropies, and expert volunteers. Next slide, please. Angel? Oh, thank you. So lots of partners are working on this program. All 5 borough chambers of commerce are the boots on the ground, but EDC, the Peterson Foundation, and the partnership oversee the program. Next slide. So types of resources we can connect businesses to. We have resources with financial guidance, marketing, technology, legal support, business coaching, and much more, which I'll go into next. Next slide. Who can apply? There's only 2 requirements to access the network. It's that you are you are a small business and you have 100 employees or less, and that you're located in one of the 5 boroughs of New York City. You do not need to be a chamber member to access this network. That is a common question. And to access the program, you can go to smallbiz.nyc. Next slide, please. And how the program works. So it's 4 super easy steps to get support. You will go to smallbiz.nyc, or the long URL is nycsmallbusinessresourcenetwork.org. You will fill out a business profile. It's a really short form, takes a few minutes. You'll be assigned a small business support specialist through your local chamber of commerce. And then you'll work with that specialist to assess your needs. And then you'll receive personalized guidance and access to resources along the way. And our support has no time limit. We will work with you until your problems are solved. And let's say your case closes and you want to come back later, we can always reopen your case. So your business support specialist is with you along the way. Next slide, please. So this is what our website looks like. And we have all the application, the website can be translated into all these languages. Next slide. And we actually have a special offering right now, which we didn't have last time we presented. So we have an open and online program, which gets businesses a free website, or SEO. If you have a website, you can get free search engine optimization consulting services. So if you are a part of the SBRN, you can apply for this program. These are some examples of websites on the right. I actually believe Cake Burgers.
Yep,
could be
they
in
are.
your- Okay.
Great to see them. Yep.
Oh, good. Yeah, they're like a really positive testimonial. So they really enjoyed getting a website through us. And I believe they got a bento box as well. So there's multiple websites you can get. You can get a basic website, you can get an e-commerce website if you sell products, or you can get a free bento box website, which is really beneficial to restaurants if they want to not go through a third-party delivery platform. They'll save a lot of money. Next slide, please. So this is the business recovery team that I oversee at Manhattan Chamber. The corresponding colors are the key code. As you can see, the left is the business support specialist. Rigel, I'll go into our tech specialist, and Mo will introduce herself on her side. Next slide, please. And I'll have Harry introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Harry. I'm the business support specialist from Manhattan Chamber of Commerce. So I'm helping a local small business in Upper Manhattan area, including Inwood, Washington Heights, and East Holland. So if you guys know any local small business need our assistance, please let me know. And I will type my email address in the chat. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Thank you. Next slide. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie, for the introduction. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mo. I am the grant specialist at the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, and my work mainly focuses on assisting for-profit businesses and not-for-profit organizations acquire grant funding from either private programs or public programs. So most of the current available programs were designed to assist businesses that had suffered economic hardship due to the pandemic. And most often this is represented by a substantial decrease in revenue. Funding is generally in the range of $5,000 to $50,000, depending on the business's eligibility. And with that said, if you would like more information about the current program that we have and potentially discuss eligibility requirements, you can feel free to reach out to me. My email is listed here on the screen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mo and Harry. Yeah, so there are a few grants available right now to small businesses, and Mo is our expert on the programs and can help connect businesses. And Harry just helps businesses with any of the resources that I listed earlier. So please don't hesitate to reach out to both Mo and Harry. Next slide, please. Oh, and then Rigel, who is not with us tonight, but he is our tech support specialist. So if you need help getting online, you want to apply to that open and online program, you need help with digital marketing, cybersecurity, and more, he is the tech specialist for the entire program for all 5 boroughs. And this is his contact information. Next slide, please. And how we're getting the word out. So we have flyers and palm cards, which if you're interested, we can drop them off. We can also email them. We're posting on social media, newsletters, and Harry and Mo are going door to door to businesses in Manhattan, letting them know about this program. We also can sign you up for the program if you don't have access to a computer or you're not big on like email. We're available via text, phone call, if email is your thing. Next slide, please. And thank you. So this is everyone's emails, including mine and my team, and the website below. So I thank everyone for listening.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone from the Chamber for presenting again. I know that you guys, yes, were here a year ago with Jessica, who's very helpful. And so Harry, happy to see that you and Mo and the others will kind of be stepping into that role here. And also thanking, I guess, the representatives for diversity here too, because that's something that we have mentioned overall in terms of the needs of our community and being able to reach everyone that's here. So very happy to see that. I'm hoping that you guys have connected, obviously, with Uptown Grand Central as well as Union Settlement, continuing to plug them. here because they've been doing a lot of work in tandem with some of what you guys have been doing as well. So that's amazing, and happy to see that some of our small businesses have taken advantage of this offering. Building a website is really essential for reaching people that are not even within the community right here in like the catchment area. So we have also shared this information. I've shared this. So hoping that more people specifically take advantage of that offer, as well as the other. Having a website is really, I think, pivotal for a lot of small businesses to have. So thank you for that, and thank you for sharing about that. Giselle,
Yeah.
Hi, yes, thank you for the presentation. I'm glad to see that Cake Burger is participating. I just wanted to know if you guys could share at the moment any data in regards to how many businesses you've been able to help in our district through this program, or people who are still enrolled.
Oh, great question. I'd have to look it up, but I know the whole entire program has touched 25,000 businesses, which is huge. We like just marketed that, but your district specifically, I would definitely have to go. I could pull that number for you. I just don't have it at the top of my head. I know we've easily served over 400 businesses in your area, but I know it's higher, so I don't want you to quote me on that. I can get your email though and send it to you.
Yes, if you could. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Giselle.
No, that's it. I was just thanking her for the information, but yes, if you could send that, that would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question, Giselle. Yes, and if you could send that over, Natalie, that would be helpful, just so we know, and then also just for us to push that a little bit more for businesses that may not have that set up specifically. Are there any other questions, Jackie?
Yes, first of all, I would like to say that at least 2 or 3 of the vendors that participate, East Harlem vendors that participated in the night markets that I had, connected with Natalie and her crew for websites, and they have had really positive experiences. So thank you, Natalie, for that. I just wanted to say that. And I know that Cake Burgers and I think Barcha also. So we could, Giselle, we could also resend this information between Carrie and I. We have our newsletter, so we could resend it to everybody if nobody has it, so everybody could reach out. That's the first thing. The second thing is, Mo, as far as the grants are concerned, I don't know, maybe you prefer me to email this, I don't know, but can you just briefly let us or me know, are they startup grants or are they targeted for specific reasons? I know it's private funding. Are there eligibility requirements, or is this question too involved, and should I just email you with these questions, or?
Not a problem at all. Thank you for that question. So generally speaking, I think we can leave the details in emails, but generally speaking, these are a mixture of both private and public grant programs. And yes, depending on which grant program that we are talking about, there are eligibility requirements. Now, I would say 75% of the grant program that we work with require businesses to have been registered or incorporated before the pandemic, because most of these programs are designed to help businesses that have suffered economic loss from the pandemic. And yes, there are other eligibility requirements as well based on the number of employees, because they're also geared towards helping small businesses. And so that's basically, so the most popular one that we are working on right now is the the New York State COVID-19 Pandemic Small Business Recovery Grant. And that one is offered by Empire State Development. And the new one that we have right now is includes the Citizens Committee All-in Neighborhood Grant, which is for nonprofit nonprofit businesses, and also the Citizens Committee Neighborhood Business Grant, which is our geared towards for-profit businesses. And we have just started recommending clients to apply for the COVID-19 Restaurant Resiliency Program. This is different from the Resiliency Grant Program that had been offered before and is currently closed. So if you want to discuss in details, I can definitely send more information about these programs to you as well.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think we're all familiar with these programs. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, the COVID resiliency grant, that is that the New York State FEMA grants, or
this is
it
the
sounds
ESD,
like this,
this is the Empire State Development Grant Program. So this
Okay.
is to provide grant funding to businesses that can also offer meals to underdeserved communities.
Okay, yes, thank you. I thought with the way that it sounds like you had another version of it that we didn't know about. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah, and just to confirm, Manhattan Chamber doesn't have the grants. Mo is an expert in available grants in some of these organizations we work with. So they're not like from Manhattan Chamber directly, if that makes sense.
Okay. Or I was thinking maybe if there were private grants that we didn't know about. A lot of these we are aware of, so thank you.
Natalie, I just wanted to ask quickly in regards to the flyers that you have. We're actually not back in the office yet, or we've gone back out of the office. But is there a place possibly to pick up some of the flyers and information that you have for not be connected to us through email and or social media?
Yeah, for sure. I can, wait, so you guys do or don't want actual printed flyers? We could either deliver them or have them be picked up at our Midtown office.
Well, previously I picked up some from Francesca. She came to me, but I'm happy to connect as well to see if we can possibly hand out some in our community. There's no place for you currently to drop it, is what I'm saying. So happy to connect to see if there's a way for us to kind of spread that word the other way.
Oh yeah, Harry's in your guys' district on a weekly, if not bi-weekly, like he's there frequently. So I'm sure he'd be happy to help. And also we would love to, now that Francesca has moved to her home neighborhood she's still with us, but she's in the Upper West Side where her home is. Harry's always open to doing outreach too. I believe he's met maybe Carrie, or maybe not, but I thought maybe you met Carrie and did outreach.
Yeah, I met Carrie and Eva last
okay.
time. Yeah. So I will definitely bring some of our flyer to meet you, and maybe we can take a walk in the area to see what's the small business that maybe can help them for our resources.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Just wanted to think about the other ways to connect with our businesses that just may not be connected with us directly. Giselle, did you also have another question, or was that the hand from before?
I had one last question. I forgot to mention, I know that in the presentation, you mentioned that sometimes businesses tend to drop out of the program or come back and leave. What are some of the reasons that, in your experience, businesses have had to like step away from the program and then maybe come back or step away completely?
Oh, I don't know what the most common, sometimes we give resources and then the business just never, like they got their resources and then they don't respond to us anymore. They just get busy. However, sometimes they'll come back to us later because there's another wave of COVID. They want to see, sometimes we have PPE. At the moment, we only have sanitizing wipes, which if any of your businesses need, we could deliver those. But they'll ask us like for PPE or guidance on, as you guys know, like it's like regulations are always changing. And right now there's the key to NYC. And like, if they have questions like that, they'll come back to us and ask. But yeah, there's like a variety of reasons why people drop, like, I shouldn't say drop out, but they'll just be like, okay, I'm good. And then come back. I see Carrie's hands up, but did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sure some of them have just gotten what they needed, so it means that you've done your job and then they're able to move on, which is good too. Carrie?
I'm not gonna take too long. I just wanted to say a quick thank you, because you guys have the best masks of anybody. I've totally given out all the masks that you've already given us, the best, most high quality in KN95 masks. So thank you. And then also a big thanks to Harry. I'm telling you guys, we walked around to the Asian businesses with Eva Chan, and he was like unlocking doors that neither of us had ever unlocked. So we appreciate you, Harry, and look forward to building that network again and continuing that partnership.
Thank you. Thanks for working with me to get me to know the area.
We'll do it again.
Yeah, definitely.
And shout out Eva too. Thank you for being on the ground, Eva, as well. Thank you. Okay.
You guys are great. The last thing I just want to say, or just remind you guys, the Open Online Website Program, like we need applicants. So if you guys know people with a website, I highly recommend applying because it's a free website. So that's just how I'm going to end it.
So invaluable. Yeah, we will continue to push that and ensure that people sign on to get access to that, because that, again, it just opens up a whole different world than just, you know, having just a storefront without it. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for presenting, and looking forward to continuing to work with you.
Thank you.
We are moving along here. Angel, if you could, when you can. Okay, great. All right, great, thank you. So National Black Theater, thank you guys for joining us again. I know that you were with us last year, letting us know a bit about what's coming up, your move, which has already taken place, you know, what's on the plate for this year, and you know, how we can ensure that we are partnering to move forward and help you guys as you navigate your new space. So I'm not sure who's going to present first, but National Black Theater, you are up.
I'm going to run the slides and the theater is going to start, and then we'll get into the L&M stuff and Ray. So you just pull up for them.
Thank you, Laura.
Everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Great. My name is Shade Lithcott. I'm the CEO of the National Black Theater. Super happy to be back here at CB11 and see so many of my friends and colleagues. Yeah, we just came back to give you an update on our progress, and I'll start it off from the cultural side. So just as a reminder, National Black Theater, we were founded in 1968 by the visionary founder and artistic genius, Dr. Barbara Ann Tier. Full disclosure, she is my mother. NBT is located on the corner of 125th Street and 5th Avenue. We are the oldest continually run Black theater in New York City, and one of the oldest theaters in the country continually run by a woman of color. NBT, as you all well know, because so many Community 411 meetings have been in our space, is a space that is dedicated to the radical imagination of Black artists and people within our community. We are a space that's an invaluable training to the future theater professionals. NBT's achievements reflect Dr. Tier's lifelong commitment to community service through the arts. I had a longer spiel, but I feel like this is family, so I don't have to go into all of NBT's accomplishments. More than ever, you know that we are in the middle of a huge capital project. So as you have said, we have just completed demolition of our site and are excited to break ground very soon and build what you are seeing on your screen, which is a brand new state-of-the-art theater complex. We are excited because our brand new home, which will be the same footprint on 125th and 5th Avenue with our entrance, as you can see, on 5th Avenue. This gorgeous building, the design architect of this gorgeous building, the base building, is Frida Escovedo, an incredibly talented architect out of Mexico City, and she's designed our dream home. As you can see on the facade, there are artistic interventions, which is intended to be done by the great artist Sanford Biggers, whose studio used to be in BT's old space. So really our commitment is to continue to beautify our corner, to stay very committed to supporting local artists, and create a brand new home, but that resonates as continues to resonate as everybody's home away from home. And so our art on the facade was signature in our last building, and so we're carrying that through. You can also just see in this rendering, we also have brand new additions to our space. So above our awning on 5th Avenue, you can see that there is a loggia, and on 125th and 5th Avenue, there is another corner loggia. So we're expanding our space to include outdoor space. We're expanding our space from a cultural standpoint to include more dedicated support spaces for artists, which include a multi-purpose room, which is like a meeting room, rehearsal space, recording studio. We will be one of the only facilities on the island of Manhattan that has a builder shop in the basement. We really understand that theater is an incredible work opportunity. The industry of theater is an incredible opportunity for workforce development. MBT has been at the vanguard of that for almost 54 years. And so we know that training folks to be carpenters and build sets and be stage managers and get their equity cards all happen in our building and facility. And we have created such a pathway for really good, solid jobs in the theater industry through training in our space. So we continue to do that. Our motto when we were embarking on this project is we don't want to do more, we want to do what we do better and with deeper impact. And so that's how we build forward. Just really quickly want to share that, obviously COVID has hit the theater sector and the cultural arts sector super hard. We were closed in March of 2020, and first to close, last to reopen. But I'm really proud that National Black Theater has been at the forefront of advocacy for arts and culture throughout not only Harlem, but New York City and New York State, as I've served on the task force for both the governor and mayor and their new mayor-elect in terms of how cultural arts navigate this particular critical junction for our sector. So really proud to be in East Harlem, really proud to be doing the work that we're doing. Just to kind of walk you through our spaces, apologies that we don't have other slides as we're like in design mode. We during our construction phase, which is about a 30-month process once we break ground, we will still be producing cultural events and programs within the community. I've been talking to Carrie throughout this whole meeting because we've been in the trenches since we were able to come back, bringing cultural offerings to Marcus Garvey Park, to Uptown Grand Central over the summer. We will continue that commitment to bring cultural programming to Harlem while we're itinerant with programming at the Schaumburg and at the Apollo. In terms of our itinerant space, we have chosen to move our itinerant offices into our executive office space on 137th Street, which we are I don't know how we wound up doing this, but undergoing another small capital renovation so that we can all be in person again. So we're fitting that out so folks, when it is safe, can come back from remote work. And we are super excited just to share that in the building, we have great partners in L&M and particularly in Ray, a new development company that really, I'm sure Laura and Becca will speak more about, but are so value aligned and have made it possible for us to really partner in having a state-of-the-art theater that continues to deliver very affordable as artist space within our building. Many of you know Dr. Tier. Her commitment when she bought the property in 1986 and was that, you know, artists in our community should be able to continue to live, work, and serve in their community no matter what the atmosphere is. So as we look at moving forward, we knew we needed to find partners that would support MBT to lean into our pedagogy and our mission, which is to live, work, and serve affordably within our own community. And so we're really proud of this partnership, which is super unique, to bring this new building to 125th and 5th Avenue. And I will shut up because I've spoken enough. It's really great to be here. I'll pass it to Laura.
All right, I'm actually going to pass it to Becca first, then she'll pass it to me. Here.
Yes, thank you to everybody here. So excited to be working with the National Black Theater. So Ray is building an ecosystem around the future of living that looks to make high design highly accessible. And our flagship will be this building in partnership with NBT. And we're working with cultural institutions and academic institutions to try to kind of make art and culture, community, and accessible pricing really the tenets of these multifamily projects that we're working on together. One of the qualities of this project that makes me most excited is that we're the first building in New York City's history to activate the VPA, the Visual Performing Arts bonus. So we really hope that this serves as a model that showcases how cultural institutions and public-private partnerships and development companies and investors can really work together to showcase how to rethink the future of community and living and working in partnership with artists. One of the qualities of the building that we're most excited about, as Sade alluded to, is the artist housing component. So rethinking what does it mean to create housing for this community, the cohort of artists that really anchors New York City as the cultural hub that it is, and having NBT be the thought leaders behind this. We're really so grateful, and seeing all the love that NBT is getting in the chat, you know, really reinforces what we intuited from the outset, that as anchors of this community, NBT are the perfect partners to be working on this building with. And we're really excited and grateful to be working with values-aligned partners at L&M, you know, to really actualize the vision. So Ray is the investor and the brand behind the residential portion, and NBT the cultural leaders, and L&M are the developers. So I'll hand it off to Laura to talk more about their part of the project.
Hey everyone, good evening. My name is Laura Rugg, and I'm the project manager of this development. I've been working with the MBT team and now the Ray team for a few years, so we're super excited to finally break ground on this. It's a really exciting project. I'm also serve as a development contact through the construction process and once the building comes to fruition. So obviously, if anything is needed, you know, continue the dialogue. I'll happy to share my contact information. I'll just do a quick bit on L&M just in case folks don't know, but we've been around for about 35 years and developed over 35,000 units of housing. We're mostly affordable housing. We do a lot of mixed income housing, a ton of community facility space, and just really love to partner with nonprofits. That's kind of our bread and butter. Particularly in Harlem, we've been doing a lot of partnerships with nonprofits. We're just building the National Urban League on 125th Street, just down the street. We're in construction right now. And, you know, we've done Northside Center and Harlem Children's Zone. And Acacia Network as well. You know, Universal Hip Hop's not obviously in Harlem, but it's an exciting project as a cultural component. So it was here as an example of just projects that we worked on that are complex and similar, and just we love to help our partners find permanent homes. We do the development, we also do construction and property management. And on this particular project, we will be doing the construction in-house as well as the management side of things. So we're kind of around here for the long run. So I just wanted to give a quick summary on the project for those who haven't seen it since ULURP process, et cetera. We went through a whole ULURP, which completed in 2017, which really allow for a mixed income, mixed use building to be built on the site that ultimately use the visual performing arts bonus that has never been used before in the city of New York. So it's super, super exciting. MBT will serve as the performing arts use, which ultimately allows you to build more housing on top. The building's gonna be 21 stories. You can see the sort of full facade here on the side. This is Fifth Avenue. And the red, I try to color code to kind of make it easy for everyone. The red here is MBT's lobby on Fifth Avenue that you were just seeing in the rendering, which goes up to their 3rd and 4th floor. They also will have an office on the 5th floor, which is around the side on 126th Street, and cellar space as well for some of their workshop stuff and storage. Everything in blue here you see is retail and commercial space. So just to the south of MBT's lobby, we're gonna have ground floor retail. It's about 6,900 square feet of retail on the ground floor there, which stretches the whole length of the property on 125th Street as well. And then the entire 2nd floor can be commercial. It could be a retailer or an office use. It's about 17,000 square feet. Just north of MBT lobby, we're providing an F&B user there. We're gonna find an operator. There's a kitchen planned in the cellar, easily connected to this use. And you can't see it from this picture, but in the interior, there'll actually be connections from that restaurant to the MBT lobby, as well as the green residential lobby here, so that there's sort of be synergy of uses and collision space for tenants, as well as MBT's patrons and just people in the neighborhood and general public. This residential entrance here on Fifth Avenue is actually a public entrance technically, where anyone could come in, could sit down, there'll be furniture in there, and could order a coffee or whatever from the restaurant. Then there's a separate 126th Street entrance as well for a resident who's in their pajamas or whatever and just wants to come right in. So there is 2 access points into the residential, one which is actually public to the community. The total residential is 222 units, and there's studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms. And then we have the residential here is on the 5th floor through the 21st. That's the entire green section. We have a lot of amenities on the 5th floor and also the 21st floor as well for all the residents. This is just another shot along Fifth Avenue. So essentially the same massing that you're just looking at, but this is some daytime imagery to sort of see what's going on here. So you see the MBT's lobby. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but you get a good sense of their outdoor space above their lobby and their corner outdoor space on the loggia. You can see the building sort of set back above the podium. So the residential gets some large outdoor terraces that are connected to amenity space. So that's open to all the residents. Just south of MBT, you can see the retail, which will then stretch around to 125th Street. And to the north, you can see the restaurant here in the connection to the public residential lobby. And then here's the last shot, just showing you corner so you can see 125th Street facade. Sort of the flagship moment for MBT, having the corner here and large signage opportunities for the theater as well. And just quickly on the residential program, so it is 75% market rate, 25% affordable under both the mandatory inclusionary housing from the rezoning, as well as affordable New York. So that equates to 58 affordable units. 53 which are MIH and 421A, and 5 other units that are just 421A, just because of the way it's calculated. The average AMI of the affordable units is 60%, just below 60% average area media income. So just a bit on our construction schedule, so you have a sense of the timeline. So we finished demolishing the existing buildings. They're totally to grade and gone. Demo was signed off in December. We secured a site office in one of the townhouses just on 126th Street, directly next to us. So we were sort of getting ready, mobilizing, having a team. We hope to start in literally a month or 2. We're just waiting on our DOB approvals at this point, and the very last piece of the city planning approval, which is a letter that's sent to DOB as it relates to the visual performing arts program. So those are kind of the 2 last pieces, and then we're ready to rock and roll. The construction is about 29 months, so that puts you at completion between Q2 and Q3 2024. And as I said, we'll have a construction office on site from the very beginning, and we really work to provide ongoing information to the community. whether it be street closures or, you know, noisy events or whatever it may be during construction. We want to be in constant communication. We'll have a, you know, published contact for people to reach out to, and we're there. So, you know, please feel free to talk to us at any time, and we'll also try to get ahead of it and be proactive when there's certain events going on or milestones that impact around our immediate vicinity. I'm just going to hand it off to my colleague Judy, who's going to go, she's on our workforce and contractor diversity team here at L&M, and she's going to go through a little bit of who her team is and just general practice of how we do local hiring as well as MWBE hiring, and then, you know, some of the goals and targets and specific strategies to this project during the construction process.
Thank you, Laura. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Judy Jarina. I'm a compliance manager on the L&M side. And we are, as Laura said, very excited to break ground and provide employment and contracting opportunities on this project. L&M has a department dedicated to workforce and contractor diversity. We are a team of 6 professionals with over 40 years of combined experience. Our mission is to create opportunities for women, minority-owned businesses, local businesses, and provide workforce opportunities in the neighborhoods in which we are building in. We're very proud of the work that we do, and you know, we take pride in being able to make a positive impact in our communities. Next slide, please. We have placed over 900 individuals into construction jobs between 2016 and 2020, and we work collectively with our development and our construction teams in order to create these jobs and training opportunities on each of our projects. As it relates to contracting, we have awarded 743 contracts that add up to over $340 million to women and minority-owned businesses. And we've achieved this, again, by working together, working across L&M teams and conducting outreach events, as well as implementing successful bidding strategies on each one of our projects. Next slide. Thank you. So since this project is privately funded, there's no agency requirements, no agency oversight. However, it is L&M's practice to implement internal goals for both women, minority-owned business contracting, and workforce. And we try to make these as similar goals to what an agency would impose. And this is just us doing our due diligence on every one of our projects. On this particular project, we anticipate to start hiring in the spring of 2022, and we will be placing individuals through 2024. We anticipate to create about 30 job opportunities that we intend to fill with 30 Harlem residents. As I mentioned before, we will be implementing strategies that have proven to be successful on previous projects. And some of these examples are in Harlem specifically, our Lexington Gardens project, our Sendero Verde project, where we have collectively placed over 70 Harlem residents into construction jobs. We do have our National Urban League project on 125th Street. This is currently underway. We're actively recruiting and placing residents, and we are on target to meeting our hiring goal there, which is great. We will be conducting local hiring commitments. We were replacing local hiring commitments in our subcontracts as they're being awarded. And this just ensures that we set ourselves up for success and that our subcontractors are well aware of our values and our intent to benefit the community by providing job opportunities to our residents. Next slide. Great. So our historical data has shown that connecting with partners is essential when it comes to a solid hiring strategy. They have boots on the ground and they can link us to local residents more effectively. And so we will be connecting with local organizations as well as building skills. Building skills, you may know of them. They have extensive experience in recruitment and placements. And we work together to conduct outreach strategies, and we will be doing that on this project as well. They do a great job of sourcing, placing candidates, as well as providing soft skills training, resume assistance to those that need it. And they also do a great job of cultivating good relationships with our subcontractors. And this just helps facilitate the interviewing and placement process once we find suitable candidates for them for interviewing. As we do on all of our projects, we will be, oh, sorry, same slide. As we do on all of our projects, we will be flyering throughout the community just to spread the word of the job opportunities that we will be making available. When it relates to subcontracting, we are committed to supporting local businesses as well as women and minority-owned businesses. And this is through our strategies that have worked very successfully on our previous projects. So we are going to be implementing an internal goal, as we mentioned before. Even though no one is overseeing this, we are approximating $15 million as a goal that will be awarded to women and minority-owned certified businesses. We'll be targeting businesses certified by the city and the state, as well as local businesses in the construction industry and suppliers. We will be including commitments for MWBE dollars on subcontractors that are not certified to assist us in meeting this goal. We have already conducted a pre-bid conference as a form of outreach back in November to help us spread the word of our upcoming contracting opportunities. And as we normally do, we're going to try to include 3 or more qualified businesses that are either MWBE certified or local businesses on each one of our bids, simply to ensure that there's the opportunity to bid for these businesses. And I'm very happy to say that we're off to a great start on this project. We've already awarded close to $1 million on the soft cost side. And this is even before construction starts. So things are looking good. Thanks so much. And I'll pass it back to Laura.
I think that's actually all we have tonight, unless the MBT team has anything else they want to add. I think that's everything. And we're open to questions. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you guys so much for presenting. Thank you for coming back, Sade and the rest of the team here. We always welcome you. National Black Theater has been a pillar in the community. Michael, nice to see you. Thank you, for just shining a light on what you're doing. The building looks amazing, and cannot wait for it to be up and operating for our entire community. So thank you guys. Again, looking forward to it. So I did have a couple of questions, obviously, about the development. Again, looking forward to everything that you're doing, but there were a couple of numbers I just wanted to touch on, and then just ask you in general, how you guys plan on moving forward with that. So in regards to, I guess, the housing that's available and affordable, have you thought about setting aside any of that housing for artists, or is there an appetite for doing that within the affordability and the units that are going to be made available?
Well, I can talk a little bit about it, and then Shadi and Becca will talk more about it. So when we came to the community board the first time, we've been trying for 20 years to get all the affordability in the building designated for artists. And in fact, when Melissa Margarito was speaker, she really was a great advocate to help us get that done and work with the city for that. The city is totally unwilling to create a set aside for artists. And it was really quite depressing because, we are a big proponent of a real MIH program. And we had really looked forward to combining the benefit that comes with 421A and MIH with our own private benefit to help artist housing. So at a certain point, we had to just move forward with the project. I've been trying to get this building done since I was 15 years old, so almost over 20 years. At a certain point, you have to move on. So one of the reasons that we brought Ray, we were already partners with L&M and Goldman Sachs before we brought in Ray. One of the main reasons we brought them in was because they have this willingness, quite frankly. Most commercial developers, don't really see the value in that. And so we had to really say, hey, we want a first-class theater. We want a beautiful building. Our interior architect is Jonathan Marble, who's born in Puerto Rican architect. We wanted to have people of color. The whole development team is all women. Most of the architects, all the interior designers, a Black woman interior designer, who also worked on the African American History Museum. To make that investment in design, and then to say, we also want you to set aside units for artists was like almost an impossible request. But we found a group in Ray with some coaching from Shadi and them working together that went to the city together to advocate for artist housing. And and that has not been successful. So I think we're just going to take this onto ourselves. So with that, I'll let, and it's just early days because we really are, with the new administration, holding out hope that we still have some time for the building to be finished. And so we're hoping that they'll create a path to some government support. But right now, I think we're at the early stages of just having to do something totally private, in addition to the MIH and 421A units that we have to do, by regulation. So if Sade and Becca.
Yeah, I'll jump in really quickly. Just to say, artist housing from the outset has always been something we've really championed. And to Michael's point, we have knocked down every friend in government store, and the last administration, there just wasn't any will. We worked really closely with the Actors Fund and with Art Space, who have in the past successfully created affordable housing for artists, and they're in the same boat that we are in. I will say one of the reasons why we picked Ray is that they have always had a commitment to artists, both on the philanthropy side and on just the programming side. And so we really believe, as Ray is a national brand, that we could template something in our building that can be a model that can be adapted throughout the country. And we're hoping, build it and they will come in terms of the city to get on board. So currently in a perfect world, it would be a public-private partnership, but with Ray and National Black Theater, we have set aside units that we are creating our own privately funded affordable housing for artists. It is super early on to know how it will absolutely work in terms of, is it an application based, is it a lottery based? But in addition to, as Michael said, MIH and 421A, we will have our own affordable housing program for artists, local artists. And Becca can talk more about that partnership. It's really early on, but we are rolling up our sleeves. We've already sent a survey out to over 100 artists in this community to ask what their needs are for space and housing, and trying to build a program from the grassroots up as opposed to from the top down that's responsive and not reactive to the needs of artists in our community.
We're also reaching out to private foundations as well, just to add that too. So it's Ray, NBT, and then we're fundraising for that, like as a separate program that we might have to run ourselves. Again, ideally, the city would do the right thing and support artists, especially during COVID, because, anyway, I don't have to advocate. I don't have to explain.
No, I just wanted to note, understanding that you guys have made strides and you have already done a lot in regards to just even pulling this to where it is. So completely understanding the work in terms of all the partners here. Definitely.
But the main point is that we didn't give up. Like, we're making our partners do it, with us, because we have to get it done. And if the city's not gonna make a way, we have to make our own way, basically. I mean, that's really the situation.
Understood. But I think just the fact that you guys have thought about that and are trying to make a pathway for that is applaudable, and just wanted to see, if this is something that you guys have been, been thinking about, because it's absolutely needed, and then needed within this community. I know there are other people that have questions too, but I did just want to ask, and happy that we will be the first VPA building in the city. So that's extremely exciting and noteworthy. So great there. I noticed that there were a couple of numbers thrown out. One of them being 30 jobs for this community. How that is out of how many jobs total, and then what are we looking at? Because it's just on the surface, it just seems like a small number, and just wanting to know, where we can kind of circle back with that, or what's that made of, and again, out of how many jobs, I think is important to know too. So if you could just speak to that, Jury, that would be great.
Sure. So the total number of jobs that we expect to create is 30. And so those 30 will be 100% of the jobs created. It does seem like a small number, but our subcontractors come fully staffed. And so we impose on them to support the community, helping us support the community by hiring additional staff members. And so 30 is the total number that we anticipate to create and staff for the project.
Right, so I think the question is, how many are they coming staff? Or how many will there, I understand you're gonna set aside 30, but how many jobs total? Or, what's the total amount here?
The total amount of staff,
No,
those numbers I believe are still being worked out to see how many men are, or I guess how many staff members are needed in total.
yeah, I think she's asking, how many people do you think are going to be on the job?
Right,
And
yeah,
what
and
percentage
30,
30 of those people? And I could also supplement this answer with some other stuff from it.
Sure, yeah. So like I said, the total number of staff members is still being worked out. As far as new hires, people that we are going to hire for the project, new, that have never worked on the project, or job opportunities that will be created new, will be 30. We
so
can
yeah, I
work.
think if you could get back to us, I think just with a little bit more, just in regards to local hiring around the project, because 30 is.
Well, I want to, people using a lot of words here, so let me just try to clarify. What she's saying is, when it's a 200 million, 240, we had the theater and the regular building, $240 million project. So a lot of that's going to go to material, steel, concrete, whatever. In addition to that, they're going to come with tradespeople that are already fully staffed. I am sure those tradespeople, and we're all going to work with L&M on this, will have their own staffing requirements so that the people that they bring to the job have a MWBE and also a D&I lens and mix. However, of the new, what you're saying is the brand new jobs that you're going to have to hire for with people without experience?
Correct.
Right. So that's people that are trying to break into the trades, right? Those jobs are limited to 30, mostly because it's a very complicated big building and you can't have 20, 30% of the building people who've never ever been on a construction site before. So we're trying to open up brand new local jobs in the core L&M part of the building. In addition to that, MBT has a $43 million theater itself. Separate from that, $22 million of that comes from the city. Those are going to be prevailing wage jobs, so union basically jobs. In our target there is going to be in the 30% range. So there's a bunch of numbers here, some of which we have, some of which we don't have. So
Right, so yeah, if you guys are able, maybe just to send like a breakdown, I think.
a breakdown, when we get the whole
Yeah.
breakdown.
Yeah, that would be great, just on like, what you have in terms of available jobs with or without experience, right? Because we don't want to just assume no one has experience. So with or without
So experienced people in a whole different track.
Right,
Experienced
no,
people in
yeah,
a whole
so yeah,
different
I
track.
think just a breakdown of, how many people you're looking, or what jobs you have that will be open and available for the community. I think that's really, what we would be looking for here, just so that we know, in addition to this great project that you have, how we're continuing to partner with jobs within the community.
I just want to ask one more thing, and it's not about great or not great. I just want to put this in the 30 for a number of people that is basically an on-ramp into the construction industry, or a job that's complicated with vendors that's sophisticated and large, is a big opportunity for people that do not have the kinds of typical resumes, and that those opportunities are local to this area. So when we look at the trades and jobs that are available for people who do this all the time, of course, we have a preference for people from the community and people of color for all of those trade jobs. But that hasn't even been staffed yet. The building isn't under construction yet. We're just finishing our financing. So what we can say is, we will give you a breakdown.
That would be great.
All the
Thank you.
new jobs, all the existing trades, and we'll give you our targets. And we will do the best that we can to meet those targets. And if we can't meet those targets, we'll come back and tell you that we couldn't meet those targets. We have an architect from Mexico. Shadi and I interviewed so many architects that were of color, from here, whatever. It's a very complicated building, and you have to balance giving someone an opportunity. And it's not even money, really. It's not really the money. It's, you have to balance giving someone an opportunity with we're in a very tight timeline. It's a very expensive thing. We're borrowing a ton of money, and we want to make sure that we can do things like affordable housing for artists and blah, blah, blah. And when you make mistakes or you spend money on other things, it's a balancing act between where you can actually make your investments, because it's not an infinite pool of money that comes out of this building. And you have to.
I understand.
I know you understand that.
completely
and it's not really
I
for you.
understand. I
I'm
think
just sort of saying it more
I
broadly.
understand. I completely
that-
understand. So we'll just look for a list of breakdown of what you're trying to do. You know, what jobs you're offering for people that may have experience or may not have experience. And then we can kind of move from there if that works.
Great,
So,
thank you,
okay,
great. And I don't think you're beating me up, I get it, we're all in love, but I want to be transparent and clear, and I want to do this the right way so that people understand what they're hearing, because 30 sounds like a small number, but it's actually a giant commitment given what that 30 is set aside for. And that's my, anyway, that's my.
Thank you. All right, great, thank you, thank you for explaining. Giselle, I see your hand.
Yes, hi, good evening. I got goosebumps when I saw that picture. It's a beautiful facade in the front. Very good job from the architect that designed it. She mentioned the young lady that was speaking, I missed her name, but she mentioned some signage space on the side of the building, I think right on Fifth Ave or on 125th Street. And I wanted to know if down the line much further, if there would be opportunities for, you know, your neighboring businesses or even artists to use up some of that signage space. And then also, Eva had mentioned there's a program, I had seen the flyer very briefly, but there is a youth program that does train like high schoolers to like kind of learn the construction site. I don't think they actually do any work, but I do think that they are brought onto the site to learn about the construction industry and business. So I think, you know, if your developers are willing to participate in that, that would be good too, because, you know, it gives our youth in our community something to learn and a new skill to do. So
I can just talk for a second on MBT side. So my dad does the training intake program for the Carpenters Union. So in our area, and he's been doing that for 30 years, 20 years. So in the theater area where we have union stage people, we're definitely going to be interacting with those programs, and especially for the Carpenters Union, and providing an on-ramp for high school kids. Also, formerly incarcerated people, like this is a wide range of folks that provide as much access
over there, I don't know who the hell he is.
prevailing wage jobs.
Who are you? What are you doing?
Can anyone else hear that?
Yeah, man.
I
It's
think
okay.
Ava might need to mute. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So it was just, yeah, basically, so there's two different, again, this is a complicated project, lots of different parts of it. We have a prevailing wage piece. Moving people toward those union jobs and those kinds of things is a huge priority for us in our project. We're going to start construction a year after L&M starts. So we have time to work through that. So we'll be back, and we want to be really engaged with you. We want to figure out all those kinds of programs we can do to help our youth on ramp to those prevailing wage construction jobs, which are very hard and rare to get into. And then I'll let L&M talk about their programs, which I'm sure are great in this space in terms of youth training and access to understanding these things. Anyone, Laura?
So I think
you. And then also just the signage part. I don't know if you touched
Oh yeah.
on.
So Shadi can talk about the sign. We have a lot to do. The sign has lots of components to it. So
I would just say this: the signs are highly regulated, and so we're and advertising is not one of the things that we're able to do. So we're still working out what the signage program is going to be. But we can come back and report out of where we land on that. It's been really tricky because of how regulated it is.
But the signs that are LED signs and are mobile, there's lots of opportunity to do stuff there in terms of programming and that sort of thing. So If you look on the
And by the way,
side,
what the intention is, if we can get there, is to be able to amplify out what's happening in our vibrant community, as we do with our e-blasts and we do with our playbills. Like, it would be wonderful to be able to actively kind of announce what's happening within the building and the community, but we're not there yet, and we'll report back on like what we can actually legally do.
we may actually need to come back, depending on it, for adjustments to the law, because some of the stuff is really regular. It's highly 125th Street is highly regulated in terms of signage, and we may actually need to get the community's help to create some more flexibility. So if it's something that's important to you, we'd love to partner with you on trying to make that flexibility as wide as possible and help as many people as we can.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And I also just wanted to note too, you know, in regards to jobs, yes, we've talked about production, but we're open to all types of opportunities that are available, you know, for people throughout the community. And then also just wanted to ping Terrence, who was on this call from Strive, and their organization too, in terms of partnering and working together. So, you know, just trying to continue what you guys already have in terms of partnership, what you've done, you know, for this project, and just deepen that that connection. Eva?
Thank you. I have a question about the hiring of minority and women-owned firm. So thank you for your commitment. I was wondering if you give priority to locally owned minority and women-owned firms.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this again. Ideally, right? So, I mean, Shadi lives 10 blocks from the building. I grew up in this community. You know, ideally we would do locally owned and people of color and Black, we would have, like, that's our highest standard. However, we have to balance that with an incredibly complicated building that has a restaurant and office space, a theater, custom theater space, residential. So the answer is, first we look for locally of color. That's where we start. Interview all those people, at least how we did for our project. Interview all those people. Then we look for women, color, just broadly. Then we go to the wider audience. So that's how we filter. So, you know, where we can, and because of that, we wound up with like an 80% female architect, interior designer, like the whole team, whether or not it's owned by a woman or not, but the whole team, right? Because we had to go through that filter. So and there was an article on it. I don't know what paper it was in, but it was like, I don't know, 20 women on the front of the thing, all of our project. Because we went through it that way, we wound up with a result that was very unusual. If you look at what normal construction projects look like, you know, they don't look like that. So we try to do that, but the highest and best thing for us is to build this building on time with a qualified highest standard, because we want to execute it at a certain kind of level, because people have to live there and work there. So we have to balance that all the time. But where we can give opportunities to people, like this is Frida Escobedo's first building in the United States. She's a very big architect globally. She's won a lot of prizes, works a lot in Mexico City. We took a huge chance giving this kind of a project that wasn't like a 1 or 2 story building or like, you know, a Gucci store or something, to a woman architect, right? And we made other architects who are licensed to do business in New York City work with her. That's just one example, and I can give you 50 where we did that and created an opportunity for somebody. Now, would we have preferred Frida to be from East Harlem? Absolutely, but you know, you have to balance again all those different components, and so we're going to keep operating that way. It's annoying. We spent an extra 6 months in pre-development that I'm sure L&M and Goldman and everybody else didn't want to do. But you know, you have to really live your intention and sort of make these processes work as best you can. Also keeping in mind that, you know, we can't be all things to all people, and we have to sort of pick and choose where we're going to actually spend our money.
Well, thank you very much for your commitment. I know that some of the Harlem-based women-owned construction firm has been already speaking to L&M, so I hope that they're given special consideration. It's not
I
just
can
that
assure you
you
that will be,
hired.
I can assure you that will, I can assure you that will be the case.
Good, and you know, they
Special
don't
consideration is the
only,
minimum.
right, they don't only try their best to hire local employee, they also do a lot to give back. So what Giselle mentioning is another example how the local firm try to give back to local young people. So there's this amplification effect beyond just hiring a local contractor.
Yeah, and again, you know, contact MBT. We have a separate construction group that's going to start a year behind L&M. So if they don't, if something happens there where there's some other reason that doesn't work out, you know, we have a, because our money is from the city, we have the ability to have a different process. So if, you know, it's an ongoing conversation. It's an ongoing
Yeah,
conversation.
so thank you so much. Thank you for, you know, just showing us every prospect and every possible area where you guys are partnering, right? To include MWBE, to include people of, you know, people from the community, people of color, all the, you know, all the layers of partnership for this project. It looks great. And we are looking forward to it. We're also looking forward to the report on the number of jobs for the community. And then obviously, you know, as you guys move forward, the open applications for the affordable units within the space. So again, thank you guys for presenting. Thank you for the work that you've done to bring this and to move this forward. And we will look forward to additional information as you guys continue on with the project.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Thank
Take
you.
good care.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night. Okay, and I think the Angel, I think the last presentation we have, and Terrence, thank you for holding in and hanging in with us, is with Terrence from Strive.
No problem. Here, hold on. Good evening, everyone. As Marissa said, I'm Terrence Byerson. I'm the community relations manager for Strive. And Strive, basically, for you who do not know, is a workforce development agency that's been around for, we're going on our 37th year, I believe, 38th year. We started out in Johnson Projects. We are introducing 2 new programs this year. The cohorts will be starting in January. Marissa, do you have the flyers? I can send it to you. You can send it out later. I would like you to put it on the community.
I'm on the email, and so I can forward it out. But I did receive the latest email in regards to the upcoming.
Okay,
yeah.
Fantastic. Right. Just give you a brief outline of the classes. We have one for youth, 18 to 24, that's been affected by the criminal justice system. That program are certain zip codes, most of them in Manhattan and the South Bronx. We do information sessions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for all of our programs. We are partnering with Bronx Community College for this program with the youth. So besides getting our job development skills, they will also be training in different subjects. After they do the core of the job development, such as how to make a resume, how to interview, they will then choose a path that they will get into based on what is available at Bronx Community College. And that path could be construction, it could be phlebotomy, it could be data entry, it could be IT. There's a number of courses that they will pick in that. Everything's free. It's a hybrid of virtual and in person. We will be, things have changed now, but when we started the program, we thought everybody would be able to come in, but we are changing based on whatever the city says the COVID protocol is going to be. Like I said, it's 18 to 24 for the youth. Our other program is also a re-entry type program, and that's for individuals 25 years and over who've just come home within the last 6 months. And that, like with all Strive programs, will be workforce development strategies and also construction. So they'll get their OSHA 30, their SST card, and anything they need in order to work on a construction site. And we have our regular construction class of our career path, which we always have every month, a different path every month. This month is construction. And all of our classes are for any individual 18 to 24. I mean, 18 and over. But the only difference is that the youth program is 18 to 24 only. Any of our other programs, as long as you're 18 and over, you will be eligible to enroll in those programs. And when the classes are not hybrid, like OSHA classes, we will be providing car fare. We also will be providing, well, we were planning on providing meals as well. Once we get this COVID thing is over and we're in the building, we will be providing meals as well. Marissa will send out the email with the flyer that has all the information and who you can contact in order to enroll. We're starting enrollment right now. You can enroll individuals right now.
Angel will forward that information.
Oh, Angel's here?
Angel's on. Angel's
Oh, Angel, what's up, my man?
I'm always here, Terrence.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't even see you, my brother. Okay, good. All right. Okay, that's like Allstate now. I'm in good hands. Okay, cool. So yes, we are currently recruiting for all 3 cohorts right now. And if anybody have any questions, you can always reach out to me. My email is tbyerson@strive.org.
Thank you, Terrence. I just have one quick question for you.
Sure.
Thank you for coming. Have you been in contact with anyone at the MAP program? So would you?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Me and what you work very closely. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I know that they have been, really pushing and trying to get,
Definitely.
connections for individuals. So wanted to make sure that you guys were in contact. Also wanted to ask you, so Giselle had brought up a wonderful idea for us to do a job fair, with the community. And we thought about doing this a couple of months ago and started to talk about it. But also something else that came up was the fact that, yes, there are jobs available now, but there's this growing gap, not only within our community, but nationwide in regards to the number of jobs that are available and then the number of people that, actually want to take the jobs. And then also what types of jobs are available, right? So not just that you have a job, it's quality jobs, with insurance and all the bells and whistles that, you would want. So I guess one thing that we wanted to kind of have you here just to ask you about and kind of see where you guys are from your endpoint. Have you been seeing or have you been experiencing a challenge with getting people into, either trainings and or jobs or, coming to certain events, and what you think that that gap might be, whether you see it or experienced it, or in other areas, what that kind of that leap is between the jobs available and people actually coming to.
Right. Well, I personally, because I'm not a job developer or person actually a student facing or participant facing, I do not really see it. But in my meetings with my job developer, yes, there is a huge gap. I mean, she actually says we have more jobs than people. We're trying to reach out to our alumni. We are calling every week to find out if you want to work. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether people are still on unemployment but there is definitely a big difference. Like we actually have jobs that we are looking to service people for. We actually, it's so crazy that we're actually servicing people that never even took a Strive class. So, because our job developers have these job openings for great jobs like Mount Sinai or Northwell Health or something like that. And they're looking for people to fill. And now they're still going out, create relationships with different employers. But I definitely see that there is definitely a gap as well.
Right. Yeah.
And also, I know when you mentioned Wajud, I know I'm part of the Mayor's Action Plan for Wagner, St. Nick, and the Polo Grounds. But I was wondering if you or anybody else on this call have any information to a broader NYCHA network, where I would like to send the flyers out to NYCHA's citywide. If anybody can give me that contact, I would love to get that, please.
We absolutely do. Oh, and Angel, go ahead. Haven't heard from you.
Sure, Terrence. Let's connect by email. I can connect you with the folks at Reese, and our former ADM is working with Reese now too. So
you are the best, Angel. I owe you lunch or something.
Right,
Another thing, one more thing before I go. I am also part of, as even though I'm part of 100 Black Men as well. I'm the third vice president for 100 Black Men. And in March, we will be having a re-entry resource and suit giveaway in partnership with an organization called That Suits You. Right now, we are just the preliminaries, getting the Osborne, Fortune, Exodus involved. If anybody else have anybody that think would be beneficial to table at this re-entry fair that we will have in March 26th at Unity Baptist Church in Harlem, by all means, please send me an email and I can contact the people. Just have to send their logo and be there. It's on a Saturday. It'll probably be from like 10 to probably 4. And we're in the preliminary stages right now, but I just want to let everybody know. Everybody here will be getting, once we get the flyer out, because we are all affected by the reentry community. We all know someone. So if you know someone, send them out there. We're going to be giving them suits, shoes, ties, whatever, and also have the resources there for them to, find out what they can do in order to get in. I'm also trying to get the Human Rights Commission there as well, to give them some information on what questions that they cannot be asked in an interview, such as, have you ever been convicted? Have you ever been to jail? All of that, because that is against the law. So that's in the planning stages right now.
Thank you. And I think that, in regards to just, there's a lot going on right now. And I think a part of it has to do with economics on all levels, right? And so if there is a pathway to kind of look at that and take care of that, then that might also just not only help the individual, but help the community overall, right? So it's something that's for everyone. So if you don't mind, if you could drop your email in the chat, that would be great for anyone that may not have it. But then in regards to the information, please send it to Angel. And he always sends around whatever you send out. So please send that over.
Great. Thank you, Marissa.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing that. We'll look out for the training. I think just in regards to, as we mentioned before, in regards to the job fair, I think we need to focus more so on, what we're doing right now for the community, just because it probably would not yield the best outcome right now. And especially in this environment, if we want to do something and put something together like that, we want it to be as fruitful as possible.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah, so I do want to recognize Giselle and then Eva.
Hello, good evening, Terrence. Thank you. I agree with Marissa. There's a lot of question marks on, the every time we kind of look out to ask people outside of our, direct network in the community board, and they have the same answer. They don't really know what's the disconnect. But in terms of Strive, I guess, do you guys give stipends for to participate in the program? Or
we don't
do you
give
guys
stipends.
have, let's say if someone already has a job and they work? Okay, and so
We don't
do
give
you guys
stipends,
offer,
but
let's say if the person,
Go ahead.
I hear
finish.
you, go ahead.
So we don't give stipends, but we do give,
let's say if
I think our speeds are connected with each other. I'm gonna let you finish.
Right. So
I'm gonna let you say everything.
Terrence,
Then I'm
go ahead, answer. I think there's a lag.
Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah, you can answer, Giselle.
Okay, Giselle. We do not give stipends, but within the program, especially the youth program, and I believe the Fresh Start program, there is an internship. So they will be paid after some of the training is done, and they will be getting some money from the internship.
Okay, thank you. And then I was listening to the Justice Center the other day on the radio, and they had mentioned the 10 hottest or like most sought out industries now that are growing, I guess, post pandemic. And again, I don't know how much education is required for these, but they did mention information security analyst. That was like the #1 most sought out job now. That's becoming like very popular. Financial managers, speech pathologists. Obviously, you have to, I don't know if you need medical school for that, but so I just wanted to, I just found that interesting. But thank you, Terrence, for your time, and
Definitely, no problem.
And then Eva.
Hi, Terrence.
Hey,
How are you?
Eva.
So I have 3 questions. What are some of the jobs that people want that you've heard that that they cannot find? Are there in-demand jobs that are not available?
That are in demand? I really, I would probably have to talk to Tara, who is our business development manager, to find out. But what we offer at Strive is we offer jobs in the medical industry, non-clinical jobs, such as patient transporter, or somebody who's working in the food court at a hospital, or somebody who's working in the clinic. And we offer construction as well. We offer maintenance positions as well. So I don't know what people are asking for per se. I can definitely get you that information because we meet every month. The managers meet every week, I'm sorry. And I can definitely pose that question to Tara and get back to you.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting if you can get that answer for
Sure.
CB11. And also, are there any in-demand training courses that are not available right now? I'm thinking kind of web design, for example, social media marketing, some of these classes that I see in Brooklyn, but I don't really see in Harlem.
Yeah, I don't see them in Harlem either, and I really don't know whether they're in demand. So that would be a question as well for Tara to find out if people are saying, I want to take a web design. Everybody always wants construction. They always want that. So I don't know what's out there that that people are looking for and we don't have it. We would like to know that, so maybe we can get it. So, and that's why we're working with Bronx Community College, because they offer a lot of different course designs. Mm-hmm. So we're giving our individuals an option to pick what they want to pick.
Got it. Last question is about 100 Black Men. Thank you for working at that amazing organization. I want to understand what we can do to partner with you to maybe try to recruit more young people from East Harlem into the organization.
Okay, what we can do
I imagine you do a lot of work already, so I guess my question is more, how can we help?
Okay, I will get you in contact with Valone Brown, who is in charge of our mentoring program, our Junior 100 program. Okay, yes. So yeah. Valone would be the best one because he's the one that's touching all of the young individuals. We're part of the Young Male Initiative as well. So Valone would be the best person to talk to find out exactly how we can partner in tandem more efficiently.
Because I tried to get statistic out of him, and there weren't as many people from East Harlem as I was hoping to see.
Okay, so you want to recruit more in East Harlem, is what you're saying. Okay, maybe we can have a meeting and talk about that. Let's set something up.
Yeah, okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much, Terrence. Thank you for presenting. We'll be looking out for your flyers and additional information, and seeing how we can donate to your efforts. Thank you for consistently sending out information on jobs. We know that they're available. We know trainings are available, which is good to know. So it's got to get people in there too.
Yes, definitely.
That's the thing. So thank you so much for presenting. And we are going to move along with our agenda. It is 8:30. So we're just gonna try to wrap this up. It's 2 hours. We're sitting here. Thank you guys. We had a lot to cover this evening. So quickly, 2 things. In terms of, I wanted to have just a quick open conversation, open dialogue. Please let me know your thoughts, what you're thinking, so that we can move on to the next item. The first one being the goals and discussion on goals and accomplishments. So I think right now we can just really focus on like what our goals should be for this year. One of them, and I think I will table this because of the time until our next meeting, but something that I would like to and would love to hear the feedback of those that are still on from the committee, is for us to create a letter to the city in regards to the economic state of our community and the things that we need to do to ensure that we are being a community that people want to come to in regards to doing business, where we want people to come and live and thrive. and then also a community where people feel safe, and then obviously an area where we are also examining how many social services we are taking on within our community. And so I think that letter would be one of our goals for us to, again, it would be from economic and from the economic view, but it would be to the entire full board to obviously approve and push forward. So that is something that I would like for us to do. It would take into consideration our partners here and obviously the things that they need, and partners being, you know, primarily Uptown Grand Central, Union Settlement, and how they are directly connected to our community. But I think at this point, you know, we have a situation where we need to do a little bit more than we've been doing. So I know that that looks different for everyone, but I do think a letter is one way to start with that, especially with a new administration. And then the second thing that I would say is for us to get at least, we have, I want to say at least 4. I don't know if this is, you know, a little stretch, but I think at least 4 commitments to developments that are coming into this community to ensure that they are working with us on our 3 pillars in regards to affordable housing, arts and culture. And by that, I mean paying artists within the community to engage with their buildings in some way. And then also on local hiring. We have 2 developments in the works right now that are proposing commitments that are good. Obviously, we all already know 1 East 125th Street. So that is 75% affordable. So they're checking the box for that. They have already engaged a lot of, I won't say a lot, but they have engaged the community in regards to local hiring. They will have commercial space that has food bazaar, and they are committed to doing local hiring there with that. And then there's also the arts component, which we have been in contact and in communication with them on, and they have been 100% transparent and just very willing to work with us on that. And then there's another development that's in sight. And then there are 2 others on the pipeline. So I think that as we focus and say, maybe set a goal of 4 to have a commitment for local hiring in those 3 pillars, that would be great. And then I just wanted to open it up to, I would also love for us, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I know that Giselle and I had also mentioned marketing for our community. And if maybe there's some plan or goal that we could work on around that. I think those 3 items that I just mentioned would be great, but I'm also opening this up for a quick discussion on what you think our goals should be. Again, we are in January, we're going through June, so we don't want to be, and everyone's working. So we don't want to be, you know, too outrageous with what we can do and fall short. But I do want to hear from others as to what you think that we can do. And this is collectively, it's not just a couple of people. This is what we all can work on before the end of the year to push on this community. So opening it up for a discussion. Yes, no to those options. Is there something else you'd like to do or like to see? What are your feelings, so we can kind of set these in place and kind of move forward? Okay, so Giselle.
I think that those are good. Those are reasonable goals. And I think that if we as a committee, we just start to break it up and start to assign maybe, you know, 2 or 3 committee members, board members can kind of group up, like we'll make maybe 3 groups or 2 groups or 4 groups or whatever, of 2 or 3, and tackle each part or tackle each goal. But I did feel like writing maybe letters to the city in regards to fines. Like, I don't know if you heard the mayor, he put out an initiative now. You had mentioned it in the announcement in the beginning, where he's helping small businesses with, like, you know, those fines, those first time fines, and giving them that period of I guess of, I don't know exactly what that period was called, but I think that I think that there's a lot of other areas that we can also just cut those fines. For example, I know the sales tax is a big one, but you know, that I don't think I see changing. But just in terms of like now the Go Green, they don't want restaurants to use like straws, and they don't want us to and that's going to be probably another fine. Maybe if we can write a letter, just letters like with fines that affect everyone, that being one of them, another one being just in general going green. Let the city help the businesses go green as opposed to fining them, which would be like another problem on the list. And I'll think of a few more, but I don't know why I had that in the back of my mind for this year, in terms of maybe just addressing the city with certain things that cost businesses a lot of money.
That's a great idea, because then they're imposing it. No, absolutely, that they're imposing it, but then that's probably going to be an extra cost for you to try to find these, you know, quote unquote green things to use. And not to say that it's good or bad, but it's okay. You know, you have to consider everything when these initiatives are going forward. So I think that's a great idea, Giselle.
And it's great to go green. It's good. Like I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Just not penalizing the business.
Yeah. What they can do. Thank you. So Jenny, I heard from you. Adem, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Not tonight.
Okay. Jennifer Meyer, do you have any, Jennifer or James? Is there anything that you would like to add? Or Eva as well? Okay, so, okay, Adem.
Actually, I just remembered, because I chair license and permits, and I actually talked about in our goals about trying to be more of a resource for the restaurants that come to get licenses, rather than just, you know, obviously review their licenses and make a recommendation. So we were thinking of incorporating some type of questions that we could ask applicants, just in terms of like, you know, what struggles or hardships they're dealing with or whatever. And while we might not be then the community to be able to address that, we could serve as like a pipeline to other communities, to other committees, especially like this one. So, you know, we're always talking about like cross-committee collaboration or whatever. So, I mean, that's maybe more of a goal of my committee, but I just want to make you all aware that that's something we're looking to do there. So hopefully we'll be having those two, our committee work with this committee. So
that would be great, Adem. Thank you. That's great. And I think, you know, it's funny, I did hear, which I actually didn't know, and I'm glad that came out of the committee, the recommendation to continue the sale of alcoholic beverages, just because it's helped, you know, committees it's helped small businesses in terms of their revenue and their income. Something that I found out actually just recently, which I didn't know, not necessarily related to sales, but just in regards to safety for small businesses, is that I didn't realize that you're not allowed to post a picture of someone, even though I see that all the time. But are you not allowed to post a picture of someone, you know, does something incorrectly in your business, like if they steal or something like that, even though I see that all the time? I feel like that's something that's sort of like a protection for the business. But apparently I think you're not allowed to do that. And then, as you know, in terms of our environment now and the things that have been happening, I feel like businesses need some more protection and some more safety. We don't even hear about everything on the news. And so, you know, I think even thinking about different ways to help businesses in that manner, right? And thinking about things that are unconventional in terms of helping, you know, might be helpful as well. I don't know that we cure all that this year by June, but at least things to think about in terms of other ways to help businesses, you know, besides just shining a light on the resources that are available. But thank you, Adem, and looking forward to working with you and your committee in terms of being a resource for businesses. Nilsa or Xavier? Nilsa or Xavier?
Nilsa, please go ahead.
No, so that's you. You're coming up as Nilsa. It's you, Xavier. Go ahead.
Oh, weird. Okay, so Adem, thank you so much for bringing that up. I think where we've often talked about the intersectionality of our committee work, and thank you, Adem, for bringing up the conversation with how we can be better engaged with our community at large, including our businesses, our tenant associations. This is a way for us to start expanding and being more of a presence despite the challenges of COVID. But I think this is more about what our remit is that people come before, in this particular instance, to licenses and permits. It's a way to connect and to be plugged in and then pass the baton, not to EcoDev in this instance, not dissimilar to what land use does with housing, as we've seen with the Sendero Verde project. So these are some of the things I would really, first, Happy New Year, right? So I should have said that first, but these are some of the steps we are taking and should continue to do more so as we go throughout the next couple quarters and throughout the year and subsequent years, is being connected throughout the community, checking in within our local block radius, chairs communicating with chairs of the committee. So I think we've been on the track and seeing more of that. So I just want to say thank you, Adam, for raising that. I'm really pleased, and I look forward to seeing more of this. Yeah, so thank you.
Okay, thank you, Xavier. Okay, so that's where we are in terms of, oh, Eva, I'm sorry, quickly.
I have a question. Do we know what kind of advocacy or what held back the district in terms of economic development the most? And maybe if we have some sort of discussion around that, then we know what kind of advocacy we should spend time on.
Okay, so I think maybe that's like a bigger project, because I think there are a number of things that contribute to that, right?
Yeah, maybe it's just an idea for an agenda topic to talk about in the future, not to resolve it tonight. As you know, one of the things that we can do next year.
Okay, that's definitely something to consider. And then in terms of tackling those areas, that would be a way to narrow it down. So thank you for mentioning that. All right, so we have our goals pretty much laid out. Accomplishments, we can talk about that at our next meeting. And then just quickly in regards to the committee-wide statement of needs as a board, and Angel, please correct me if I am wrong. As a board, I believe we are hopefully going to make a statement. Xavier is on here. And so what my understanding is from all of us, or all of the committees, we are having an input as to what our needs are from every committee and from every angle for this district and this area. And so I have, obviously ideas in terms of things that we need, but I think if there are areas that we all just want to say and want to mention, then that's something that we can, put together and move forward with. Angel or Xavier, is there anything that you want to add to that outside of, that's what we're doing?
Angel, please go ahead.
I'm not sure if I heard you correctly, Marissa. Were you speaking to district needs or citywide needs?
So the citywide statement of needs.
Right, because that's just to clarify, in case there's any misunderstanding, that document is related to citywide, the city facilities, or the siting of city facilities. Is that what you were focusing your potential comments on?
Yes. And
okay.
So for that, would we speak about, like, per se, the needs of like bathrooms throughout our corridors? Are those the type of needs that they're requesting?
No.
Okay, could you clarify, please?
Sure, it's talking about like the siting of public facilities throughout the city, like the city has in its portfolio a number of different properties that it manages and owns and rents throughout the city, and it could, run the gamut between office buildings, support service facilities, and so forth. And this statement of citywide needs exercise gives an opportunity annually for communities to opine on the siting of such facilities. On the January 18th full board meeting, we're going to hold a public hearing on the statement, and George James, our land use consultant, is going to give a presentation explaining the process and what the document touches on. And we have until April to submit any comments should we choose to weigh in on, excuse me, not weigh in, should we choose to submit comments as a board to the Department of Planning.
Perfect. Okay, so because of the time here, let's pause on this and let's think about this, and then let's see how for our next meeting, we can come to the table with some actual thoughts on those specific areas and what we can do within this community, if that works for everyone. Okay. All right, so I would like to move forward. Angel, can you do the roll call and then we can adjourn?
Dan Briha.
Present.
Eva Chan.
Present.
James Horton.
Present.
Marissa Mack.
Present.
Giselle Malave.
Present.
Jennifer Meyer.
Present.
Robert Perez is excused. Dawn Sanders. Vinnie Torres. Jenny Tromsky.
Present.
Nye Whitaker. You have quorum.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for hanging in. I know it was a long meeting, but thank you so much, and have a good evening. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thanks
Good night,
for
thank
being
you.
here.